The show I did for Doborah Hospital, Heart and Lung Hospital. I did a fundraiser for them, for their foundation, and they asked me to do a magic show, and these are clips from the magic show. It was done in November of 2011. What I liked about this in particular, that I was able to do a lot of mental magic, which is really my specialty. In that form of magic, I can stand up on the stage with anybody in the world. I always say that, but maybe they wouldn't want to stand on the stage with me because I'm really very astute at this. I could do psychic, straight psychic. I could do numbers. I could do predictions in my mind. I have a lot of mental flexibility that way. There's others that could do better with the sleight of hand and things like that. I'm okay. I'm pretty good. I'm not the best in the world, but I'm pretty good. But with the mental magic, I could stand up there with anybody. But like I said, they may not want to stand up there with me. And I did quite a bit of mental magic in this show. I did all kinds of things from dice predictions to newspaper predictions to telling people to give me numbers at the top of their mind, and I would tell them what they're thinking and throw dice across the room and lock cubes into a sealed box and saying what it is and so forth and so on. And I did a lot of that in this one show. And I'm very proud of the performance because it was actually videotaped, and that's why I can have it up here. And it's interesting because it's a rare form of magic. I did it when I did this mental magic stuff when nobody else did it. I did shows at Trop World and mental magic there, and it was interesting.
Sleight of hand magic, as well as mentalism, magic of the mind. Classic magic is similar to classic anything. It is simple magic, basic and often forgotten. Magic effects that have been replaced by large stage prop type of shows with large boxes, smoke, and mirror effects. Mentalism is magic of the mind, predicting.
That's the president of the Doborah Hospital Foundation, and he's reading off a card what I'm going to do. And like I said, I donated my time to the Doborah Hospital Foundation, and it was November of 2011. And let's see what I do. You'll see a combination of a lot of things. So I appeared on their little stage, and I'm throwing coins up in the air and catching them into a bag and so forth and so on. And I'm showing the bag empty, even though they heard the coins land into the bag. And now I'm doing a cup and ball routine kind of. This is like a lot of standard magic, you know. You're showing the cup empty and so forth, and the balls appear.
1, 2, 3. Empty cup, empty cup, empty cup. I put this one under here.
I explain what I'm doing. I'm an entertainer also. People never realize that the magic is a form of entertainment, and I'm entertaining them. And I really always wanted to just do the psychic and mental magic, but in order to get on stages and in front of audiences, a lot of times I had to be a magician too, because they wouldn't allow you to go on if you said you were going to read minds. In those days, people were very prejudiced, particularly in the 90s and whatever. And I was in the original situations with the public psychics where they went out into malls and they came out from behind closed doors, and I wound up doing radio programs and TV specials, and colleges, and I went all over. So I had to learn to be many things. This got me in front of people, and I really wanted to do the psychic and magic. At that point, I wanted to read all the people in the world. These days, I confine myself to teaching and teaching videos and teaching at Rowan College currently in 2016. I teach metaphysics, numbers and palms and graphology and name analysis and astronumerology. I've studied them all. I've been doing this since I've been a child. So to me, there's nothing new. It's all old stuff. But this is the regular magic, everyday magic. But soon it's going to slant mainly to mental magic. And that's where I really excel. And people don't realize what a specialty it is. The magicians would realize what I'm doing with the magic part, but they'd be confused with the psychic part, and they'd have no idea. See, I'm doing sleight of hand, and I do a little bit of everything. Yeah. So, you have to be an entertainer to get up there. People think you... And the way I hop from one thing to another, you have to have your act pretty good, because the slower you go, the easier it is. I go from one thing to another. I don't waste a minute, Now, here's where I'm going to mentally guess what somebody sets a dice. There's two different dice. One has pictures, one has numbers. They're going to lock it into a box, and I'm going to only handle it with one hand and put it to my forehead, and come up with the way they're going to predict it. Put it in a black box, seal the black box, and do it in front of everybody, and say. And I'm doing it right in front of everybody. They're all watching me. This has 6 pictures. This is a white dice, regular one. I have 3 different dice: a white one, a red one, and one with pictures. And they can seal any one they want into the box and lock the box. And I'm going to say which one they pick. There's 18 different choices. You hold 2 in your hand, and you don't tell anybody. And it's your choice what you want to put on top, and you close it. But what you do is, and this is not complicated. You write down on here privately in large letters on this eraser board what you put. If it's a 5, you put a big 5. If it's a car, you put a car. Whatever it is. There's 18 different choices. And the rest you hold in your hand. And without looking, I have to come up with it. And people think it's easy. I'd like to see somebody else try it. I only handle it with one hand. I put it right to my forehead, and I come up with what they put on there. Everybody else can see it. Now, this is one of the tough ones, believe me. Because first of all, I have to say whether it's a number or a picture. I don't know. There was 3 different choices. There's a white dice, there's a red dice, and there's a cube with 6 pictures. So I got to say, is it a picture? Is it a dice? What's the color of the dice, and what's the number? So there's a lot of possibilities. There's about 20 possibilities. First of all, I don't think it's a picture. I think it's a number, of course. This is where I excel. Medium number. It's like a 4 or a 3. But, I'll say it's 3. I think it's white dice. White dice. How did I do? Did I do okay? I guess. Was it 3 white dice? Yeah. Oh, okay. It could have been a red. It could have been pictures. So that's fair. So that's one of them. That's what I mean by mentalism. I try to explain to people what mentalism is. They don't really understand exactly what it is, because it confuses people. They can't see how anybody could come up with such a thing. So I try to make light of it. I remember doing a psychic fair in a mall, and somebody was throwing holy water on me. So, I've seen, I've been through a lot of experiences. People are really scared of mental and psychic, and it really frightens them. And in my older years, I don't want to really deal with a lot of it. I'm making some predictions on presidential things. I teach metaphysics and psychic and handwriting and whatever, but I don't really want to sit there with people one after another like I used to.
I need another volunteer. I can put my hat back on. I'm not doing direct mind reading. But do we have another brave person? I'm going to shuffle these cards. You see that shuffle?
And you have to make light of it. People come up on stage. They're afraid to be up in front of an audience. I'm used to an audience. I've been on stage all my life. And I'm going to have them stick a cardboard anywhere they want in the deck. So he dropped the cardboard, okay. And he sticks it in the deck, and I already have it written on a piece of paper, on a board or whatever, where the two cards that he's sticking it in between. And he can stick them anywhere he wants.
Right? Now, let me just find out if the two cards that you randomly chose...
See, he randomly chose two cards. A free choice.
You stuck it between the deck, not me. That's what they are. Is that the answer? And you could have stuck it any place you want.
And he stuck it between those two. I already had it written on the board. See, this is what mentalism really is. A lot of people, they show you a couple of people, but they know them. I'm telling anybody to come up on the stage. All these people know each other.
And the 8-year-old kid was the only brave one. So I had to work with what I got. Now, I hope this one over here is not confusing. This is called numbers in the mind.
I'm doing numbers in the mind. If somebody gives me a few numbers, if you go to my inverted pyramid, pyramid predictions on how you take a number that somebody gives you and turn it into what they're thinking. And look at some of my videos. This is what I'm doing mentally.
Now this type of car was always all over the place, but now they just became aware of it. If you would hypnotize them, their subconscious mind, they would tell you they saw this car all over, but that's conscious mind. So when
I'm explaining the difference between a conscious and unconscious mind.
It kind of says more or less what's on their mind.
I'm telling them that when they give me numbers, I know what they're thinking. And this really confuses or scares people sometimes.